for joining us once again. Today is another installation of our stories based on the Tesla Semi. The focus of today's show is the fact that the Semi, based on number of Pepsi vehicles and internal vehicles to Tesla, is being inspected somewhere between 50 and 200 times a day by non-Tesla entities. So we wanted to review that because right now one of the big issues that's sitting out there is the fact that sort of non-Tesla entities have not had a chance to inspect it to determine whether or not everything about it is valid. I am speaking up today, a little bit of mic issues. Thanks for your indulgence. This is Greg for Teslafaninsight. Thanks once again for joining us. If this is your first time, welcome. If you're a repeat visitor, welcome back. We also want to thank our Patreon supporters. If you enjoy the show and would like better information on investing and trading, please join us over on Patreon. Just a reminder, the production numbers come out probably on Sunday for the quarter. I think the numbers will be good, but the driver I feel right now is really what's going to happen with the Cybertruck, as well as how many entities sign aboard to be able to charge at Tesla's facilities. So it'll be interesting to see, good or bad, how the number plays out, but how the longer term investors respond to the numbers that do come out. I think they'll be good, perhaps not great, but it kind of matters little because of the new revenue stream Tesla has going. So let's get on to our semi-weekly focus today. So the photo that I chose for the thumbnail is of the Semi exiting the Pleasanton, California way station for the state of California. So as you know, in most states, vehicles are inspected at certain intervals, and those inspections, if the vehicle passes, no big deal. If the vehicle doesn't pass, it may have to sit at that spot until there's actually there's a repair of what the problem would be. So I thought this was really cool to look at today, even though it's a simple concept. The fact is that the more entities that do end up inspecting the Semi, I think it provides more data to offer sort of a real-time conclusion that the vehicle is well done, excellent, and worth the wait for all those who've signed up and will sign up for it going forward. So a few notes on this. First of all, the goal of a weigh station, as you know, is to make sure the vehicle is not overweight. There's also the goal of inspection of tires, looking for leaks, etc., that might be coming from that vehicle that make it potentially a hazard on the road. And so I believe that it makes sense to look at what's going on with the semis at the weigh station. So thus far, we haven't had any. This thing does not work to the degree that we need to get rid of it or get it off the roads and only allow it to move if it's towed or repaired prior. So as we were kind of studying this issue, it turns out most of the potential signs of a problem with the vehicle, brake fluid issues, engine oil leaking, all these issues that are typical to the semis that do get pulled off the road are not something that Tesla has an issue with based on it being an electric vehicle. Obviously, weight is an issue. Electric vehicles get an extra 2,000 pounds, so it has to stay within the 82,000 pound parameters as it moves on the freeway. Obviously, things like tires are applicable to the Semi in this case and can be studied carefully. The next thing to note here is that if you look closely at the photo, you'll notice a bunch of grass next to it as it's re-entering the freeway from the weigh station. So I guess I was a little surprised to see it in that situation, but it's simply sort of the angle of where it was sitting after the weigh station and then re-entering the road. Now, the one other sort of major issue is sort of as your vehicle has a year or so worth of data that they can operate on, you now have a situation where those vehicles get, I guess, what I call an app-based confirmation of all its data. If you run for a year with regular inspection on your vehicle or vehicles, you'll find that the inspection folks will actually allow your vehicle to simply check in on the app to confirm that everything is fine. Until you reach that critical mass of the number of inspections that were done, then you're subject to being pulled in for the routine inspections that the vehicle is currently receiving. So obviously we've had a number of sort of recall and other minor repairs that have been done on vehicles sold and likely the vehicles that are still in-house being used. And so the next question is, has anything broken down significantly that limits the ability of this vehicle to do what it's tasked to do? And the answer is we've had some minor issues that have been addressed, but everything seems to be working smoothly. I guess the only thing not working smoothly is when are we going to see the volume coming out? It's our conclusion that what's happening right now is Tesla is actually producing vehicles on a weekly basis, and that those vehicles are being stored so that as you deliver to the next round of customers, you can actually deliver a number of vehicles rather than just one at a time. So the answer is the vehicle is passing inspections because it's being allowed back on the road, times the 36 that are associated with Pepsi. We also have a number of vehicles, call it 10 or 20, that are running internal to Tesla in various capacities, be it delivering vehicles, be it delivering freight between factories, etc. And, thus far it's a winner. I guess I would say that one of the things I'm looking forward to in the next iteration of the conversation with Elon is, well, one, how many are you producing? And two, when will customers start getting them at scale? And he seems real reluctant to dive into what's going on in this space. And the only answer we're coming up with is, 250,000 a vehicle, and it consumes double the number of batteries as the cars. There just seems to be a disincentive to focus production on that vehicle, and therefore that's where we're at. He indicated 25 or 50,000 vehicles to be produced next year. He sort of pushed that number down, particularly because the new factory has not been built yet to enable him to do scale production on this vehicle. So well done for the Semi that we're seeing no inspection issues. We look forward to an update from Elon. Certainly we're going to get the Cybertruck update and hopefully the first completed vehicle to be handed out. I guess the other thing I found strange is just having Cybertruck and Semi racing on the track next to the Fremont facility. Obviously the truck is a lot heavier, so I don't know why you'd want to race between the two of them, but I guess it sounds like fun and it shows they actually work and they don't have any issues performing. At any rate, well done on the Semi. This concludes our Semi update for the week. Next, we'd like to move on to our health tips. So this week I had an opportunity to talk with a health practitioner who's involved in clinical studies, and he recommended that you consider there is something called the MOD-FO diet. So there's some issues that he was having with or health issues related to eating habits, and it might be one to consider. Have a bunch of noise going on here and no mic, so I think we'll conclude here. Thanks once again for joining us. This is Greg for Teslafaninsight. Tschüss, au revoir. Lahizro, Hoda Hafiz, Ni hao ma, namaste. And in Jamaica we say enough respect, walk with ma. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day, and bye for now.